This podcast is hosted on podhome.fm, the most modern podcast hosting platform. Podhome offers unlimited episodes and podcasts, and unlimited use of Podhome AI, which generates transcripts, clips, chapters, title suggestions, show notes, and much more. And all of that for just $15.99 a month or $185 per year. That's a steal. So go to podhome.fm and start your 30-day trial now. And enjoy the show with Joe.
Southwest Texas. It's the Joe Rooz Show. The show where we talk about anything and everything. Where nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, and nothing is PC.
All righty. Well, hey folks, this is Joe Rooz, and it is great to be with you guys once again, transmitting live, of course, from the asylum, and as always, doing the very best we can to bring you the best quality talk radio we can muster without all the bluster. Welcome to the show, folks. You know, tonight, we're welcoming back, a returning guest, a victim, I guess you could say, glutton for punishment, Sidney Pines. Now, the last time Sidney Pines, remember Sidney? She was great, wasn't she? We had a great conversation. Now, the last time Sidney joined us, we were talking about her journey from, everyday American to a published author, and her first book, Awakening, A Patriot's Diary of American Deception. Well, since then, the story has continued, and so has Sidney's writing. Her new book, Golden Age Rising, picks up where the first book left off, following America's political and cultural journey through the 2024 election and beyond. Now, tonight we're going to be talking about what's changed, what she's learned, what predictions she's got right, what she may have gotten wrong, and where she believes America is heading. Are we heading into a new chapter, a new golden age? But as always, before we get into that, let's take care of some of the usual housekeeping stuff and get that stuff put out of the way. So, folks, if you would, please don't forget to head over to our website, joerooz.com. That's joerooz.com. And when you get over there, make sure you look for that contact form. It's in that upper right corner of your website there. Just click that link, open up the contact form, send us over a message. Let us know whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, any questions, comments, cares, or concerns that you might have. Maybe you have a complaint. You shouldn't, but you might. You can send it there, too. Also, you could let us know if there's any suggestions for a guest you'd like, maybe a topic of discussion you want us to cover. We'd love to hear from you guys, so please send that on over to us. Use the web form. But if you're anything like me, you don't like using the web form because of the stupid caption nonsense. Unfortunately, it has to be there. So you can always email us directly at info@joerooz.com. That's info@joerooz.com. Or another great idea is use the comment section down below, open up on Rumble, and of course on YouTube. Still available to you there. Haven't gotten kicked off yet, but we're close. All right. And also don't forget that this is a live show, weeknights, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, we have our Sunday Bible study show every Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you check those out as well. Really, really important stuff. And then, of course, don't forget, folks, the algorithm. Algorithm is key. Algorithm helps us get found. And the way you tweak the algorithm is by remembering to share the show, liking the show, subscribing to the show, following the show, and sending it on over to your friends, your family, and your followers. It's a great way to help spread the show out. So we really appreciate all the folks that do that for us. All right. Well, as promised, tonight we are welcoming back Sidney Pines, author of the Patriot's Diary series. Now, Sidney, she first gained attention with Awakening, A Patriot's Diary of American Deception, a diary-style account of how one everyday American processed the political and cultural upheaval of the last several years. Now, she's released the follow-up, The Golden Age Rising, continuing her story from the 2024 election into what she believes could be a new chapter of American history. Now, tonight we're going to talk about what she's learned since writing the first book and where she thinks America is headed. And we'll see. Maybe her views have changed. Maybe they haven't. Maybe she's dug in a little bit more than she has been before. So we'll find out. Sidney, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Great having you again, man.
Yes, I love being back. I was looking forward to it.
I know when you popped up in the messages, I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh wow, Sidney, she's back."
Yeah, I'm back. Right.
Awesome. Like you can come on anytime you want, Sid. No problem. I don't
Yeah,
mind.
awesome. Yep. I'm
Love
back
it.
and still writing.
And I haven't forgotten, by the way.
Yes.
We were talking about doing a specific type of podcast. Do you remember we talked about it?
We did talk about that.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and I know we both and life gets so busy, and
I know.
we kind of forgot about it, but we have to revisit that.
We do, and I'll tell you
Yes.
why we have to revisit that, because the day after we did our show, I sat down and I created the stream. I created a channel, graphics, and all that stuff. So our show is ready to go as soon as you are ready to go.
Oh, wow. Well, I am super impressed. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad to
I'll
hear
send
that.
you. I'll send you the graphics and everything later on. But
I would
a lot
love
of fun.
that.
I called
Yeah.
it Connected Dots.
I like that.
So
yeah,
it's-
we did say that, I think.
Yep.
We talked about that, right?
We
Yes.
did. We did. See, I don't forget.
Yes,
See,
I love it.
as I'm getting older, my memory is not as quite as sharp as it used to be. Yes.
Yeah.
I do say it's kind of like Swiss cheese. It's
Yeah.
like the Alpine lace right now. It's not the the full on Swiss with the big holes. It's the little ones.
Well, I always say my short-term memory is horrible, but my long-term memory is like an elephant. But
That's all
yes.
that's all the weed you smoked in college, right?
Oh God, no. Oh, it's funny.
You can
Yeah.
blame that. That's what I do. I mean, I never did in college, but
Yeah,
you know.
right. It's an easy excuse, though, I guess. Yeah.
Sure, of course. Why
Right,
not? Blame
right.
something other than yourself. See, that's the first thing. See, you're on the road to being a liberal.
Yeah.
So you're blaming something other than your own
Oh.
responsibility. You know.
Okay, because you see the look on my face. I'm thinking to myself, Joe, those are fighting words.
I know. That's why I said them. See, because that's what liberals do. Liberals take no responsibility for their own actions. You see, we blame something else, but
Right,
when we make a
right.
decision and there are consequences of those decisions, we have nobody to blame but ourselves.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the fundamental differences between a conservative and a
Yes.
liberal.
Yes.
So
And
anyway,
even when it's something we shouldn't be blamed for, they'll blame us anyway.
of
so,
course,
Yeah.
because they take no responsibility for anything that they do.
Right.
Everything is somebody else's fault.
Absolutely.
So, last time you were here, we talked about how you took your personal notes and made them into a book.
Yes.
And so, since then, how much has changed in your everyday life?
Well, I have actually, last time we talked, I don't think the second book was out yet. No, it wasn't. Yeah. So I was working on that, and that got published April 23rd. And since then, I'm now working on book 3.
Wow.
And, I don't know. I think I said this before. Book 3 will either be the conclusion and everyone's happy, or it'll be the Armageddon and me admitting that everything I learned was wrong. But, and
I hope not, but
yeah, oh, you're not kidding. Me and you both. I'm hoping it has a happy ending. But, I'm prepared though. I'm not arrogant enough to say, oh, I know my way's right. I don't know. So I'm hoping it'll have the happy ending. And I decided I'm going to take book 3 a little bit slower.
Okay.
And, maybe, well, first of all, nothing traumatic has happened, nothing huge. There's still no accountability for anything and no arrest. And so I think I'm going to take that a little slower unless I run out of my word count. If I run out of my word count, then I'll end it, publish it, and start book 4. Eventually it has to end, right?
eventually.
Yeah, right.
But but you brought up a great point too. It's like it is a little disappointing that
Absolutely.
that nothing has really taken place.
Absolutely.
A lot of questions. You
Uh-huh.
have your obligatory, the obligatory investigations, the obligatory press conferences,
Yes.
and we're doing this and we're doing that. But yeah, okay, great, that's fantastic.
Yes.
We know all of this already.
Right.
What else are you doing?
Right. And then you even, you get the, Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard, and they're so, like definite, they're so stern that pretty much, we got them now, there are arrests coming. And, you okay, this might be it. And what, 3-4 months ago, they were saying that and
Yeah.
still nothing. And, I try to believe, and as you know where I stand,
Yeah.
and the people I follow and the things I look at, I try to think, okay, Sidney, you've been down this before, everything is being done for a reason. Timing is everything. So, it kind of makes me not lose complete hope. But then there's some days, I'm human. It's like, no, I mean, what if that's not right and nothing's really being done? So you go back and forth, but I'm still staying positive, and I do feel everything is being done in the way it should be, in the timing it should be, and it's going to happen eventually, is what I'm still thinking. And I'll be the first to admit once I think otherwise.
Yeah, I understand that, and I agree with you 100%. Yeah, you from someone like myself who comes from a law enforcement background, I understand investigations take time. You can't just you can't just walk in there and say, okay, everybody's guilty, let's go.
Right.
You have to build your case, but I don't think there's been anything more documented and proven evidentiary-wise than the theft of the 2020 election. Absolutely. And the Epstein files and the lists and I don't think what more information do you need?
Right.
Now, of course, the question is: should these people be protected? Absolutely not. I don't think so.
No.
I think whoever's involved in this, in of course, in a criminal matter, a criminal level, should be exposed.
Absolutely.
But
I mean, it's full-blown treason. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. And what's funny is, it's really 2020 is really not over with. No. I mean, I think it was a couple of months ago that they were at the Georgia, the election board, and they demanded their records. I mean, that investigation is still going on. I feel it's already been clarified, overturned. We're just waiting for public disclosure, to be honest with you. But it's still being talked about. I mean, not just amongst us, we the people. It's still being talked about in regards to, with the military, the FBI, the CIA. I mean, it's not over with. No, it's not by a long shot.
Right. But here's where the devil's advocate comes in. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. So everything is proved, right? We're saying down the road, everything gets proved, everything's shown that, yes, it was a stolen election. Yes, all of these things took place. Yes.
Yeah.
But overturning the election at this point, what does it serve?
Right. Exactly.
That's the question.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't even think it'll have anything to do with the way we live or what we'll do. What it will do is it'll wake the sleepers up saying, oh my God, it was true. Mm-hmm. It will show how horribly corrupt, and I'm using the word corrupt as it's the nicest word I could think of. I could think of other words. How horribly corrupt the Bidens, Obamas, the Clintons were. It'll prove that finally, which would make people wake up, and it would, just show everybody how this was done to us. Everything in that era, not just the stolen election. Everything they did, and so maybe it'll just cause unity. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're still gonna have the people out there that will deny everything and say, no, it's all a right-wing conspiracy and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have your diehards no matter what.
Right. But and I think when the day it comes that it is announced, I don't think it can be announced by Trump, to be honest with you. They'll never believe him. They'll say he did all that, he staged that, he paid someone to do this, that. So I'm hoping something extravagant would happen, and who knows, maybe the military head or somebody. But it can't be from him or his people, because that won't wake anybody up.
I think it would probably come from either the next administration, mm-hmm. or maybe even the administration after that one.
Okay.
To put some distance.
I hope it doesn't.
I hope so too. Yeah. But to put distance between.
Right.
But I don't know, and I think the most that's going to end up happening is there's going to be an asterisk next to the potatoes picture in the catalog of presidents.
Yeah, I like potato. Yeah, I think I refer to him as that in my book too, Potato Head. So it's funny you said that. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you said that.
The baked potato.
Right.
But but I think that's the most you're going to actually hope for.
Right.
I'm at the point, and I think I'm going to say it like this. You'll understand what I mean. I'm at the point now where just get it over with. I just put it to bed and move on from it.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, why they delay it and why they don't want to,
Right.
to keep talking about it and keep addressing it, is because they want people to get, like what I just said.
Right.
Just do it. Just get it over with. Just move on already. Let's keep it going. And just,
Yeah.
Next.
And I think there's a very, very, very good chance that everything's going to explode at once. Because it's not just the 2020 election. It's, they had, and this hearing was live. We talked about this before. This hearing was live, and a lot of people don't even know it. The Senate hearing questioning Fauci about his guidelines and the COVID and the exaggeration. And he was grilled hard, and it was awesome. So he's guilty of so much.
Yeah.
They had how many CEOs and people come out from Pfizer and all that saying, yeah, it was a bioweapon. There's so many things. It's not just the 2020. And I have a feeling that it's all going to come out together. It's going to be a beautiful little package. It's not just going to be, okay, yeah, they're right. You did steal it. Life goes on. And I think all of that will connect to arrests. And they're saying some of the arrests and some of the punishments have already taken place. Again, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I'm told. That's what I'm hearing. And
you see those posts all over,
yeah.
So and so was taken to Guantanamo Bay and executed on this.
Exactly.
Crap.
Exactly. And you just don't know. And it's funny, I actually put in book 2. I feel there's like 3 different kinds of psyops going on in the world right now. That's what I feel. And one of them has to be right. And, hopefully we'll still be alive to see it. We're going to find out which psyop was the good psyop, because there are some psyops that are good, I guess. But, you have the whole, far left wing, you have the people that, like you were talking about, following the cue boards, and they feel people have already been taken care of. And then you have the one that feels there's all that going on, but there's no good guy coming to save us. They're all in on it together.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, you don't know which one's the correct one. And there's no way you're going to know unless you're like high up in military clearance. You're not going to know. So I put every single avenue in the books, just because I still feel to this day that someday our grandkids, great grandkids are going to be learning about this in school. Yeah. I still believe that. And so I put every possible thing that could be happening in the book, whether I believe all of them or none of them, I don't know, but it's in there.
Yeah. I don't know though if it's a great idea that it all comes out at once.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, because then it gets diluted.
Mm-hmm.
You have the election is one incredibly serious matter.
Absolutely.
And of course, and the whole scamdemic.
Yes, plandemic. Yeah.
Plandemic,
yeah,
scamdemic, all those
right.
great things.
Same thing.
All of that did a tremendous amount of damage, not just to the American people and our country, but the world in itself.
Yeah, it's global.
Because you see what the what the effect of a stolen election in America does to the world, and you see what this pandemic did to the world. It uplifted everything that we know to be the normal.
Yep. Right.
And you know what? And talking about elections, the elections are still being stolen all over. Look what took place in California.
Yep.
Why does it take California 37 days to count ballots?
You know what I always say? The election boards, they need to contact American Idol, because they can get all those votes counted within a commercial break.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, it doesn't even make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Countries like Brazil have their votes counted within hours of the polls closing. Yeah. And they have a population bigger than California.
Right.
So I don't understand. 37 days to count ballots. And of course, all of these ballot dumps that come through all go to one party and nothing to the opposing party.
Right.
It's
Right.
ridiculous, and it's being done in real time. And
Yep.
and you would think, after what took place and was known about what took place in 2020, you
Yes.
think that more people would be interested and care about what's going on, but you really don't hear much. It's
Right.
a very small minority,
Yeah.
a vocal minority for sure,
Right.
but a very small minority of people who are actually standing up and saying something about it and calling this out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is going on?
And us conspiracy theorists are saying that,
Factualists.
yes, are saying that maybe, just maybe, this will be what triggers.
You
Because
hope.
it's pretty evident what's going on in California right now. Is that what's going to trigger the disclosures? Is it going to be proven again? And a lot of people, and even on the left, because I had a talk with someone who was far left, that was interesting. That a lot of people are wondering if the midterms are even going to happen in November. Because there's been, like you got California going on right now, and both sides are predicting a quote unquote false flag. There's just, I still feel like there's so much going on behind the scenes between good versus evil that none of us even realize. It's
I
still
agree.
going on. It's still going on.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
The deep state is not
Yes.
going anywhere anytime soon,
Right.
and they're going to fight to the last breath
Uh-huh.
to make sure that they get their will imposed upon humanity.
And the sad thing is there's so many of them.
Yeah.
It's not just the handful of big names that we all know. There's
Right.
so many.
And again, it's not strictly a left side of the aisle
Right.
problem. I mean, it's on both sides. There are
100%.
there are characters on both sides of the aisle that are complicit in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And they have their motivations for doing what they do.
Right.
I don't agree with them, of course, but the Republican Party, the conservatives cannot hold the banner high of integrity on this.
Right.
They're just as bad.
Absolutely. And that's why, we keep saying, it's not Democrat versus Republican. We are so past that.
Yeah.
It's good versus evil. And the name given to the crooked Republicans are rhinos. So, I mean, there's a ton of them. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before or not, but those people scare me more, the rhinos, because the Democrats, you know what you're getting. It's right.
Exactly.
It's right in your face. Those rhinos, they just sneak in and put that R behind their name, and you don't see it coming. You're blindsided.
Yeah.
So that's more scary.
Absolutely. They come with a smile on the face.
Yeah.
And we got you on this, we got you on that. And then when they get into their position of power, it's like, well, we really can't do that because this, and this. And
Right.
we can't do this because, even though we said we were going to do this, we can't do this because we got this, and this. And, they make a lot of promises.
Yes.
And people just gobble it up.
Right.
And then what irritates me too, I don't mean to interrupt, sorry. But,
No, you're good.
But what really irritates me too is that this administration knows who these rhinos are, but yet they still get the endorsements.
And that confuses me too. There's a lot of things that, I do like to consider myself fully awake. I do. But obviously I don't know everything. And there are a lot of things that happen. And I'm like, why? I don't get it. That doesn't, and I know it's wild. It's crazy. And then, one of the ex-military I follow, they said, don't worry if you see Trump endorsing someone that you know is quote unquote bad. He puts them in the spotlight for a reason. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So, because there were people that he praised and said were good, and look at, bam, they turned out not to be good, and they got humiliated. They came and walked down the street.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think, okay, is there a reason for this? And again, it's one of those things we'll never know. We'll never know.
Yeah, and you know what? I get swept up in that too sometimes.
Yeah.
But what I'm really getting tired of hearing is, oh, you don't understand. This is 8D chess they're playing now.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man.
I know.
Not to sound like Potato Head, but
Yeah,
come on, man.
come on, man. Yeah, I know. No, I hear you. I get that too. And I once even said, several times said, during the people I follow, whether it be a reading or a podcast or whatever. And I think to myself, oh, I'm so tired of hearing about it. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
You keep saying that. I get it. And then, so many people said, and I think I spoke about this before, I'm not 100% sure, that I've never read it. But everyone says if you read the Law and War manual, you will understand it. Everything's being done exactly the way the Law and War manual says it should be. And I can't comment on that because I've never read it.
Well,
So,
I'm not even familiar with that, so I'm going to have to check it out myself.
yeah,
I'm curious now.
I looked into it, and I guess it's updated every so often. And I think the last updated version was, I want to say 2021. I could be wrong. And it's on Amazon. It's 2 volumes,
Mhm.
and each volume is 700 pages long, so it's 1,400 pages. And I don't know how it's written. I don't know if it's written like in everyday language or if it's a lot of codes and words you got to look up.
Legalese.
Yeah, exactly. And if that's the case, I'd be lost anyways. But to be honest with you, I just don't have time to read 1,400 pages. Maybe I should though. I don't know. But everyone that's read that says, you guys, you got to read it. You got to read it. If you read it, you'll understand. The art of war, like you said, 3D chess, and it is getting a little old.
Yeah.
It really is. And but I don't know. But there's been a lot of things that have nothing to do with politics or us, that kind of verifies it. Odd things like, again, I follow a lot of ex-military. Some are current military. They told us, I think it's in book 1. I don't think book 2. Book 1, so it was a while ago, that Scott Peterson, the one that was accused of killing his pregnant wife. They told us then. They says, you guys keep an eye on him. It's not what you think. There's more to that story, and because there's so much more, even with Hollywood, everything. And they're like, keep an eye. And, where are we? He was just in the news. Well, they're reopening the case. And, and it's like we were told that years ago. So I feel like a lot of things that we've been told has come to fruition. The big things haven't come to fruition yet, but I think that's going to be the huge public disclosure.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something, since we spoke last, something that will always blow my mind, is how severe TDS was. It still kind of is. I feel like it might have settled down a little bit, but the last couple of years, especially the last year, it's a real thing.
It is.
It's a real thing.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yes.
But you see, that also raises a flag for me too.
Yeah.
Why the first administration, and maybe you could chalk it up to, well, he's a lame duck. He can't run again, so they're not trying to, derail a second term. But they've been quiet. The media's been quiet. The media's been somewhat supportive on a number of things, and especially CNN, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But that viciousness from the media is really not there as much as it had been.
Right.
It's there. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. They're not
but
all.
It's more subdued now. I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're not hearing about so much of that. You get your little pockets here or there, but that makes you kind of wonder too. Why all of a sudden,
Right. Well, that was on one of the things that were supposed to happen with this world cleanup was the honest journalism, and to clean up the MSM. So maybe it's coming to fruition. I don't know. That'd be nice. That would be nice.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
there's lots of things you can look at and say,
Yes.
What is that all about? That's why we talk connecting dots.
Right.
But it's, I don't know, my little tingling back of the head kind of thing.
Never ignore that, because it's usually right.
You got just pay attention. Mm-hmm. Just keep your eyes open. Right. Pay attention. Know what's going on around you at all times. There's a lot of stuff I don't trust. A lot of things that I look at and I just don't. I worry. AI, the way it's taken off lately. Yeah. I saw something yesterday. Was it yesterday? Was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Where ChatGPT surpassed 1 billion monthly users.
Oh my God.
1 billion monthly users.
And what I discovered recently, the sad part is young people are actually using ChatGPT for advice, whether it be on relationships or health and that's scary. That is scary.
It is.
And I'll tell you, like, even I saw one where you can actually, like, someone could take me right now and someone else can jump into how I'm looking right now and still use my voice, but it's them talking. And someone, crooked people obviously were doing that and sending these videos to their family members saying all these horrible things or asking for money. And it wasn't really the mom or the aunt. It was someone
I've heard
else.
about that. Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
I saw something not too long ago where a lady had a relationship with her. I don't know if it was ChatGPT or another model, but let's say an AI model that encouraged her to go get a tattoo with the name of the AI model that she gave to the AI model.
Wow.
And she went and did it. And it blows me away. Now, I'll be honest with you. I use ChatGPT for a number of different things. It helps me I do some research of backgrounds and stuff like that. It saves me a lot of time. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah. But there are times, because I've been using it now for as much as I have, that because I know it's not really like it doesn't know who I am, but it's used to the cadence of the conversation and so on and so forth. So I caught myself a couple of days ago. I was working with it, and it said something. It literally made me laugh, and I was like, "That's really funny." And I ended up having this conversation with the AI model, and I forgot I forgot for a second that, wait a second, this is just spitting out stuff that it's accumulated from, from crawling all other conversations everywhere else and putting it all together to make sense for me.
Yes.
And
wasn't there a movie like that a few years ago? I think it was with Joaquin Phoenix, where he fell in love with the app on the female voice.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah. What was the name of that movie?
I didn't see it, but I just remember seeing it advertised.
Yeah, and then there was another great AI movie that came out a number of years ago called Ex Machina. Great movie. Yeah, great. It's all it is. It's about some guy who developed a brilliant guy developed this AI model, puts it into an actual humanoid form, like it's a robot, but it develops its own consciousness and then schemes its way to get itself out of the containment into the real world. It's really very good. It's really very good. It's scary.
Sounds good.
But we're not far from that now.
Right.
And that's the one thing about the left and the Hollywood folks. They tell you what they're doing through those mediums, so that when it does actually happen, you're not surprised. Yeah. Which leads me to this. I was going to ask you about this one. Huh. So we have time. We're going to get to your book, I promise.
Oh no, we've already been talking about it. You're good. Yeah.
Disclosure. So this movie that came out at Spielberg on alien disclosure and this administration's position on disclosure. What do you think about it?
Well, so I'm sure there's like literally 100 different rabbit holes you can go down. You got the central baking, Hollywood, everywhere. There was 2 rabbit holes that never interested me. One was flat Earth. I don't care if it's flat, round, or shaped like SpongeBob. All it will do is prove that we've been lied to, and we know that already. So I never went down that rabbit hole. And then aliens. Now, here's the thing. I do semi-believe in them, 100%. I do. Okay. And but do I believe in them enough to be obsessed with it and go down that rabbit hole and want those to come out? No, I don't. I do believe they exist. That's where I stop. End of story. But yeah, these UFO disclosures, it's like, again, how long we've been hearing about it, that they're going to come out, and they haven't. Well, they're saying they dropped some stuff, but are they redacted like the Epstein files were? Or I don't know. So did they actually come out, and what are they saying?
Well, they released some things, not everything, but they're talking about, it's coming. It's the greatest, biggest thing since the last version of it came out, whatever it was came out. Yeah. So my real question in there was, this administration obviously has been really pro on getting this type of information out there.
Mhm.
If this does come out, of course, they're talking about, they pulled these pastors and priests and religious leaders into these meetings and conferences, and to tell them to prepare their flocks for disclosure, because it's going to upset everything. Do you really think that it's going to be that much of a disruption to people's everyday lives,
Well, it might not.
spiritually speaking?
I was going to say, yeah, it might not be the physical part, but I do believe I think a lot of things, there's actually a saying with this movement that says the ending's not for everyone. They're not going to be able to handle it.
Mhm.
Even back to all the stuff we discovered about, Hillary and they're not going to be able to handle it. So if they are in fact real, and they do in fact have a full disclosure and full files and everything, I do feel a lot of people won't be able to handle it. I do. And especially the elderly. And I actually feel very sorry for the elderly nowadays. But again, they might not be able to handle it. And especially if these aliens, if they went to all the popes and the priests, if these aliens are in any way, shape, or form of a demonic nature, it would rock someone's core,
Yeah.
and so I mean, it should be interesting. But the thing is, will they really get released?
I doubt. You're
Yeah,
not going to get everything.
right.
What I think is, I think a lot of the things that these phenomena that we see,
Mhm,
the at least the mechanical side of it, I think that's all man-made.
mhm.
They say that military technology is 30 years advanced from what we
Right.
actually see.
Mhm.
So do I think that they have like warp drive? They might. They
Yeah.
might.
Right, right.
Transporters like in Star Trek. Yeah, I think they might.
Sure.
But what I think the alien thing is, I think they're transdimensional beings
Mhm.
or interdimensional beings, and I think that they're not what people think they are. I think from a spiritual background,
Mhm.
my background, from a
Mhm.
spiritual background, I think that they are demonic.
Mhm.
I don't think that they're little green men from Mars. I don't.
Right,
I
right.
don't think
I
that at
agree with
all.
that. Right.
I don't think that at all.
Yeah.
Could it because I've also heard, it's us, time traveling. Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know. Isn't it crazy all the possibilities out there?
It's
'Cause I
fun to
also
think about,
Yeah, it is. I also
but
heard about the time travel, yeah.
yeah, but it's fun to
Yeah.
think about. But I don't know. Like I for myself, if they came out today and said, okay, there has been contact made, full disclosure, we're not alone in the universe. To me, it wouldn't affect me. It
Wouldn't.
wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fine, no problem.
Yeah.
And I look at it from a scriptural side, spiritual side. I read my Bible. I've read my Bible many, many times, cover to cover.
Mhm.
I'm not bragging. Don't misunderstand that.
Sure.
But I have.
Right.
I don't see anywhere in there where the possibility of life elsewhere is eliminated.
Mhm.
I don't see that. I don't see anything where it says, well, God only made us. That's it.
Right, right,
Because that's not
Yeah.
true.
right,
Because the angels are created beings.
right.
And the angels are what? They're interdimensional beings.
Uh-huh.
They can pop in and out.
Right.
So
If they can do right, exactly.
that just supports my position that these are interdimensional beings that we're dealing with, and they're not all what they seem.
Right. Yeah.
So-
No, I think I'm 100% on the same page with you. And I also agree. I don't think they're little green men. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So when people say you believe in aliens, it's like, well, what are you referring to?
Are you talking about the people who illegally cross the border? Yes.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. I agree with those. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, no, I don't think they're like some 7-foot tall monsters or little green Martians. But I do believe there is something else out there.
Yes. And I do believe Godzilla exists. No, I'm kidding. How awesome would that be?
Oh yeah, it would. Bigfoot, or was it the Sasquatch?
Sasquatch.
No. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I have these great ice cube molds for Sasquatch.
Oh, do you really? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I what I do is I give them to my dogs, but I fill them with bone broth, and I make the little Sasquatch ice cubes, and
Oh.
I give them each one every
Okay.
day.
Okay. Oh, that's
for
cute.
their joint health.
Yeah.
But a listener actually sent them to me because I did a show a few months ago with my buddy Wayne, and it was a parody. It wasn't like a serious show. We were just messing around.
Oh, yeah.
And he played a character, a guy who was violated by Sasquatch.
Oh,
And,
funny.
and somebody that actually watched the show emailed me and said, "Hey, can I send you something? I have something you might like." And I said, "All right, fine." So I gave him the PO box, and they sent me this Sasquatch mold for ice cubes.
That's
And I thought
funny.
that was awesome.
That is cute. That is cute. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
But on a more serious note, though, so your opinion, your take on this. I know this is going to get some people upset, but what's your position on this whole mess that we're in with Iran?
Okay.
What do you think about this? What's your take on it?
Yeah. So so tomorrow isn't that UFC in front of the White House or something? And he said he was going to make a important announcement or a decision about it after the. Yeah. So, again, several different conspiracy theories on that one. Do we know the real reason or not? I don't know. All I know is when they lost their complete freedom in the 70s, when you saw him first announce or attack Iran, I mean, people were literally dancing in the streets celebrating. And, they did feel liberated. Then there's also the conspiracy theory of years ago, and I'll tell you, everything I discovered that has come true is like even the Russia hoax. This is not too far-fetched. That years ago, they laundered bars of gold, our gold, the U.S., and it's hidden underground in Iran, and it was done by the Obama administration. And they said the real reason for all this is we're returning our money to we the people, the gold. Don't know if it's true. I'm just telling you the possibilities. There's also, I don't remember how I worded it. I should have pulled out my notes. That it's not that Israel relies on Iran, or is it vice versa? But they had to take out Iran first. And there's been a saying since day one, since I started following this. It was, which is going almost 7 years. They always said, save Israel for last. We're saving Israel for last. Once you hear about the takedown of Iran, it will be Israel, save Israel for less. That's when we're home free. So as far as what the media says, even the conservative platforms, I really don't listen to them and I don't follow. So what your thoughts on it are probably totally different than mine. And the reason why I didn't follow it is because I feel there's something else going on. Something that's what's being portrayed by anybody, by not even the right-sided media.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like it's something much bigger, and there's a different reason. But
that's an interesting take on it. I wasn't thinking of it in that regard. I was thinking more of as far as like in the course of the campaign leading up to this presidency.
Okay.
No wars. We're not going to get into any wars. We're not going to get involved in the Middle East. We're going to withdraw, basically.
Yeah.
No more forever wars. And then this happened.
Right.
And there's so much confusion, I feel, in looking at it from my perspective. Who initiated this whole thing? Was it Israel? Was it the United States? Who fired the first shot? That kind of thing.
Right.
And then you get these conflicting statements. We won, it's over, but yet we're still fighting.
Right.
And we're back to, they're decimated, they have no defenses, they have this, that, and the other thing, and yet we're still fighting.
Right.
It's to me, this is bad because then you said it was going to be over in a couple of days, and now it's how many months into it already?
Right.
It's starting to look like it's going to be a forever thing.
Yes.
I'm hoping that it's not. I don't want it to be. I would, because what I think this problem here is, you made these promises, you got us into this, and now the midterms are coming, and you're losing support. I don't know what their internal polling is telling them, but I know just from talking to average people on the street, people that I know in my circles and such, that there's a lot of people very unhappy about this, and a lot of people talking about sitting on their hands in the midterms. And that's devastating.
It is. And
Because
he's lost a lot of people recently. And he's even lost people that are following the same stuff I am, because they're throwing up their hands saying something should have happened already. He's full of crap. All of him and all of his people and the people we're following, they're just trying to keep us docile. They don't want we the people to stand up. So they've been giving us a psyop, and I can't stand him now. And I know personally several people who flipped like that. And I know for a fact that 2 years ago, they were diehard Trump. And now they want nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
So, he's lost a lot of people for sure. Absolutely.
Now, just to clarify, I'm not against President Trump. I like him. I do. I think he's done a really good job in his first term. I think he did fantastic considering he was new to politics.
Right.
Didn't really understand how the thing worked. And I think he came back with a greater understanding of things and how they work. And I think he made some really great moves early on in the presidency in this term. I don't think he's on the right track right now.
Right.
I don't like the fact that he's talking about how he loves inflation all of a sudden. I mean, that came out. That was kind of a weird thing to say. And
Absolutely.
I know that he expanded on that a little bit, saying that, I like it because when, all this is over and done with, you're going to see how great things are going to get, and better than what we originally projected it to be.
Right.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But choose your words carefully, because you just gave the Democrats a campaign ad.
A loaded gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love what you just said. And that's, and I feel the same way. And there's been several things he's even said recently on the TV that I'm going, are you kidding me? Like he said, the price of groceries down. No, it's not. Yeah. But you just verified what I love the most about us is, for a long time, and maybe still, we all got accused of being a cult. We were a Trump's cult.
Yep.
And that it couldn't be any further from the truth.
Not at all.
When he was pushing that warp speed vaccine, we used our own discernment. It's like, I don't care if Trump's telling me to get it. I'm still not getting it. And, so many other things that he's doing that we disagree with. And like I said, I was mad about the groceries. What you just said, we are far from a cult. And our last 2-second conversation just proved it. And that's what I love about conservatives. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I stand with him. I will when he's right, I will praise it. When he's wrong, I'm gonna say something about it.
Right.
I'm not just gonna blindly, march in lockstep.
Exactly.
Like the liberals do. I mean, they just take their marching orders and move. They don't think for themselves.
Even when I used to watch all his rallies, and then I stopped, before the election, and then I stopped because I'm like, oh my God, same old stuff. Give it a break, and
Exactly.
So it's like, and I back then, I adored him, and I still, definitely not a cult. That's for sure.
Absolutely. You can support your president. You can support your elected official. You could support, but yet still criticize.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's incredibly important. That's what our founders wanted. They wanted us to be able to speak objectively, look at what's going on, and say, "Hey, wait a second. You're right about this, but on this, I don't think you're right."
Yeah.
Not just blindly follow. I mean, it's not the way to go.
Yeah.
And that's why I think our founding generation was so adamant against the formation of political parties, because this is exactly what they foresaw.
Yeah.
Blind following to the party, not to the people.
Yes, absolutely. And then, so blind. I did a pre-interview with someone, and they had asked me if I had no idea. I'm not going to lie. I should have vetted better. I had no idea the person was far left.
Okay.
So that was a little, yeah. So, so one of his questions was if I felt that there's been extreme extremists on the left. And I said, I do. And he said, can you give me an example? So I mentioned, I have to admit, I haven't heard one in a while, but 6 months ago, how many Christian schools were getting shot up by transgenders?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that wasn't hidden. That was even on the fake news. So I had mentioned that. And he said, okay, so a couple transgenders shot a couple people. You call that extreme? And I'm like, and I says, yeah, it was a little bit more than that. So anyways, back to being a cult. It's like children were shot and you're still sticking with your people. No, we're not.
It doesn't work.
No, yeah, we're not the cult.
We're not the same at all.
No,
I don't know how anyone can look at something like that and not feel something for the families and the children themselves.
Yeah.
And defend the actions of someone who's clearly mentally disabled.
Yes, exactly. And the tone was like, oh, big deal. So yeah, needless to say, I denied.
I'm kind of hoping that the person was only doing that just to like, for the camera, so to speak.
Well, it wasn't. It was a pre-interview, so it didn't go nowhere. It was just me and him. Yeah. So he did want me to be on a show, and but I politely declined. I don't. He thought it would be interesting for his viewers to see us argue, and I don't want to argue. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's So, somebody actually told me recently that I need to be more confrontational in my interviews, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What's the point of arguing?
Right.
Let's just have a conversation.
Yeah. Now, if somebody were to say to me, Sidney, I heard this and this. Have you heard that? Can you explain it? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And when I'm done, if they're like, you're crazy, that's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. But I'm not going to shove it down someone's throat. And I'm darn sure I'm not going to purposely argue on TV. I'm just not doing that. I'm not.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah, right.
So let me ask you this before we start to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Let me see. How do I want to phrase this?
Uh-oh.
What? No,
uh-oh. Yeah.
What's the difference between the Sidney who wrote Awakening and the Sidney who wrote Golden Age Rising?
The difference is the Awakening, I was pissed. When you find this stuff out, it rocks you to the core. And then you think to yourself, oh my God, it's so way out there. There's no way this could be true. So then you get confused. And then, and then everything that was going on during that era, people didn't want to go to events. It was just nasty. Golden Age Rising, I was definitely more laid back. I got to the point, then the other thing too, sometimes the Awakening could be repetitive because, we're told dates. And then we're found out, oh no, they met this year. Then you find out that there's like 3 different calendars in the world that we never knew. So they're going by the Julian calendar, not the Orthodox. It's
right.
mind-blowing. Yeah. So it was frustrating. The second book, I kind of come to terms with, it's out of my control. It's in God's hands. It's in the military's hands. It's in someone's hands, but it's not my hands. So I can't just, get upset when nothing happened. And I can't get mad because, they did not deceive so many people by being stupid.
That's right.
They're smart. The deep state knows what they're doing. So
yeah.
So it's like, it did not just affect me, affected everybody. So, there's nothing I can really do about it. So I was more laid back. And then I dug more into, in book 2, because this really bothers me, the dissemination of family values. And I feel that was done to us too. The
very much agree.
Yeah. The core of happy families and the dinner tables and, even front porches. You hardly ever see a front porch anymore. And people used to hang out in the front yard. Now they do it in the backyard, and that was all slowly done to us.
Yeah.
And I talk a lot about that in the book, but I'm definitely more laid back in the second book.
It's funny you mentioned the front porch. All right. Yeah. So I have a front porch on my house.
Nice.
And I haven't really done much with it. I just have a couple of chairs out there right now. I'm thinking about a planting, doing some flower beds and stuff around the front. Even though I'm told not to, because if I do that, then the property tax assessor is going to come and jack up. The outside looks nice.
Yeah.
But I sat out there the other night, just for a little while. I had a cigar, and I was just sitting out. And I hardly ever sit out in the front of the house. Again, I do most of my stuff in the back.
Right.
But I said, yeah, I'm going to sat in front. The looks that I was getting from people as they were passing by, like what's wrong with this person? Why is he sitting on the front porch?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It is.
And I made it a point too, because I don't know about where you live, but here it's like I don't know my neighbors. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So I've made it a point in the last couple of months rather that I am going to interact more with my neighbors. I'm, if I see them, hey, how you doing, bud? And go over and shake the hand and how are things? How's life? How's this, that, and the other thing? How's the family? All that stuff. And they may get uncomfortable with that at first, but you know what? That's the way it used to be. Like I remember when I was growing up in Brooklyn, everybody knew everybody. As a kid, you couldn't get away with anything in the block because everybody knew everybody, and you were going to get ratted on. Someone's going to tell it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There was always somebody watching, and how the parents would, oh, we're going to go to so-and-so's for coffee and cake tonight, and we're going to hang out there for a little while, and we're going to play whatever game like
cards was a big one where I grew up. The parents play cards. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And mahjong or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where I thought of that, but it came to mind.
Back to family values and the way we were raised. I know I would do anything to go back to those days. And absolutely. I remember too, like so many people when I was young would pop over unexpected, whether it be an aunt who lived an hour away. Hey, I was in the neighborhood, or, a neighbor or whatever. And nobody minded. Oh, come on in. Oh, I just got through making something, so excuse the mess. End of story. You do that nowadays, and they won't even open the door. Like, they have the attitude of you weren't invited, so what are you doing here?
That's the funniest thing too, because I thought about it like that too. I was like, it's so funny how back then the doorbell would ring and everybody go running to the door to see who it is. Now the doorbell rings, everybody's like,
yeah, right. Who could that be? Who could that be? Yeah.
Who's here?
Yeah. Right. Right. And it's funny, because family has always been important to me. So that was definitely a rabbit hole I wanted to go down. And when you realize it was all intentional, even with back in the June Cleaver days, I'm going way back. But, the fact that there's very, very few couples or families where the wife could stay home anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's
that's like, because it was set up that way now.
Absolutely. The inflation, everything, they jacked up the prices. So for two reasons. Number one, wife would have to go out and get a job because they need more money. So it breaks up the family time. And number two, now you can tax two people in the same house.
That's right.
And it's really interesting.
It is. And it is done so subtle and little piece.
Right.
You don't realize it until it's right in your face.
Right. And I'll tell you, what they've done to the young girls too, even going all the way back to, do you remember when the push present became popular?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like, how is that even a thing? Just be thankful you have a baby. They have to buy you an expensive gift for pushing out a baby. And it's crazy. Yeah, it was done to us.
Absolutely.
So once you realize it, and then it gets to a point, believe me, it's not funny, but it gets to a point where, like we just did, you almost have to laugh. You almost have to laugh to stay sane.
I was going to say that. If you don't laugh, you're going to lose your mind.
Right. Yep. So I feel book 2 is the point I was at. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still some periods of anger, but I'm definitely more laid back in book 2 for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Sidney, as always, it is great having you on the show. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back here soon, very, very soon.
Yes.
And we'll definitely keep in touch and get you back on here as quickly as we possibly can.
I would love that.
So before we wrap up, who's someone that you respect and what are they doing that inspires you?
Okay. So last time you asked me that question, it was my publisher.
That's right.
I think if I had to pick a second person, I'm going to have to say shout out to my cousin Frank. Yeah, he's a great guy, ex-military, great job. He's been through a lot, and he still is always there for everyone. He's my rock.
Outstanding. I like that. I love when people talk about family like that. It just makes it so much better.
Yeah,
it really does. All right, Sidney. Well, I'm going to throw you backstage. If you want to hang out there for a minute, I'll catch up with you. I'm just going to wrap this thing up, and then I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, sounds good.
Sidney Pines, get the book. Get the book. I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. I'm telling you, I really enjoy talking to Sidney. She's fantastic. she's one of those guests that you see the name pop up and you're like, oh yes, got to get her back on. And I'm looking forward to having her on again, especially when the next book comes out. So that should be a little motivating factor for Sidney. All right, well, let's see. So final thoughts on the conversation tonight. Probably one of the most important takeaways is that history is often written by ordinary people living through extraordinary times. Now, whether you agree with what Sidney and I were talking about tonight or you disagree with them entirely, what she's done is document her perspective and preserve a record of how one American experienced a period of tremendous change, tremendous uncertainty, and even more so division. One of the themes that we've explored tonight is that none of us have perfect information. We all view the world through our own experiences, our own biases, and our own understanding of events. Now, the challenge is not simply, finding people who agree with us. The challenge is continuing to ask questions, continuing to seek the truth, and remain willing to learn. That is important. A healthy society depends on open conversation, period, end of the story. It depends on people being able to speak, to listen, to disagree respectfully, not yelling in somebody's face, not insulting them, not berating them, respectfully, and of course to think critically. Now, of course, we want to say thank you again to Sidney for returning to the show and for sharing her perspective on all these great topics that we talked about, and we have a great time with it. We have a fantastic conversations. And I want to thank all of you for spending your evening here with us tonight on the show. So shout outs to our producing team, executive producers Wayne Rankin, Rosanna Rankin, Carolina Jimenez, Marissa Lee, Angela Watuski, and John Seeley. All of these folks donate their time, their talent, and their treasure to help us put these shows together. And honestly, a lot of the stuff we do, we couldn't do it without them. So if you would like to find out more about how you can help support the show, just make sure you head over to the website, joerooz.com/support. It's joerooz.com/support. And take a look at all the different ways you can help us out through one-time donations, recurring donations, signing up as a producer for the show. And I think I've told you guys already, our paperwork has been submitted. Our applications to IMDb is going through the approvals process. And once that's done, all these folks that sign up as producers are going to be included as producers on IMDb, which means you'll get an actual legitimate professional credit that you can put on a resume as a producer of a show. So it might be worth it. I don't know. Take a look at it. Regardless of the fact, it's going to be fun, right? So there it is. All right. So again, thank you. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all that you guys do. I really do appreciate it. Go to the website. Check out everything that's there. If you can help us out, we would really appreciate it. All right. I think that should just about do it for us for tonight. Once again, thank you to Sidney Pines for joining us. Make sure you check out our book. Links will be in the show notes. Check it out. All right, folks, make Texas independent again. Go podcasting. Keep a steady stride. And more importantly, folks, keep talking. We will see you next time. I bid you good night.